Herkese merhabalar, iyi akşamlar. Connect UK World Class University Webinar serimize hoş geldiniz. Dünyanın en iyi, en önde gelen Birleşik Krallık Üniversiteleriyle gerçekleştirdiğimiz serimizde bugün bir değerli İngiltere Üniversitesi daha ağırlıyoruz. Dünyanın en iyi 70 üniversitesinden biri olan University of Bristol hakkında yetkilimiz Sarah Ashman'la birlikte bugün sizlere bilgiler aktarıyor olacağız. Ben British Education Bureau BEB eğitim uzmanı İmran Mehmet. Size sözü Sarah Ashman'a bırakmadan önce BEB hakkında kısaca bilgi aktarmak isterim. Biz BEB olarak University of Bristol'ın Türkiye'deki resmi temsilciliğini yapan kurumuz. Temsil ettiğimiz üniversitelerin Türkiye'deki tanıtımlarını destekliyoruz. Aynı zamanda üniversiteler için Türkiye'de organizasyonlar gerçekleştiriyoruz bugün olduğu gibi. 2002 yılında Oxford'da kurulduk. İngiliz ve Türk kuruculara sahip bir yapımız var. 20 yıldır 2002'den bu yana İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir'deki ofislerimizde öğrencilerimize danışmanlık hizmeti sağlıyoruz. Uzmanlık alanımız tamamen Birleşik Krallık eğitim sistemi. Buradaki üniversitelerin giriş şartları, başvuru süreçleridir. Tüm danışman kadromuz İngiltere'de eğitim almış, İngiltere'de eğitim sistemine hakim bir yapıdadır ve sürekli olarak eğitim almaya devam ediyoruz. Birleşik Krallık'ta toplam İngiltere, İskoçya, Galler ve Kuzey İrlanda olmak üzere bu 4 ülkede toplam 130 tane devlet üniversitesi mevcuttur. Biz BEB olarak bunların 90 tanesinin Türkiye'deki resmi temsilciliğini yapan kurumuz. Temsilciliğini yaptığımız üniversiteler için de tamamen ücretsiz danışmanlık hizmeti sağlıyoruz. Biz bir sonraki webinarlarımızı internet sayfamızdan, Facebook'tan ve Instagram sayfalarımızdan takip edebilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir ve Lefkoşa ofislerimize de bu numaralardan ulaşabilirsiniz. Ben sözü yetkilimiz Sarah Ashman'a bırakıyorum. Sorularınızı sunum sırasında veya sonunda chat box üzerinden veya el kaldırma butonuyla sorabilirsiniz. Sunum sonunda sorularınızı yanıtlıyor olacağız. Thank you, Sarah. It's yours now.
Thank you very much, Imran. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I can see.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining me today. I'm going to present to you a little bit about the University of Bristol and the city of Bristol. So hopefully you'll leave the session today knowing a lot more about the University of Bristol and feeling a little bit more ready about starting to make your decisions about studying at Bristol. I quickly introduce myself as well. My name is Sarah Ashman and I'm the International Market Manager for the University of Bristol with specific responsibility for Turkey. So I'm here to help you throughout the process in applying to study with us. So the city of Bristol then, I wanted to start off today by telling you a little bit about the city that we're based in, because it is a huge part of why students really enjoy their time with us. So for those of you that haven't visited us before, or maybe haven't heard of the city of Bristol, we are based in the southwest of England and we're marked with the purple dot on the map there. And we are about an hour and a half outside of London. We're the 8th biggest city in the UK, but by international standards, that means very little at all. We're still a very, very small city. And for those of you that are familiar with big Turkish cities, Bristol will definitely feel a little bit more like a town to you. So it's definitely a city that you can really get to know while you're a student here. There's only 500,000 people in Bristol. So to give you an idea of how small, I mean, it is very small. But what we also are is really well connected, first of all, to the rest of the UK through the rail network, but also to the rest of Europe through Bristol Airport, which does make us a really convenient location for those of you that are looking to explore a little bit further afield while you're studying in the UK. But also a little bit closer by, we have cities like the historic city of Bath, we have Cardiff, Wales, as well as the Cotswolds really close and some coastline for you to explore as well. So a convenient location to start off with. But then Bristol itself as a city has a huge amount to offer. It very much has the energy of a bustling urban metropolis. So it has that big city feel, it has the busyness of London, but it has a more friendly and relaxed atmosphere that our students tell us really helps them to feel at home a lot more easier than in big cities. And we're really lucky to have our university campus based right in the middle of Bristol city centre. So students really do get to enjoy absolutely everything the city has to offer. And what our students tell us is that they really have the best of both worlds in Bristol because they get to study at a prestigious, well-established institution, but also get to live in a young, dynamic and exciting city. So Bristol is known for a couple of things. The first one being that we are a creative city packed full of arts and culture. We are particularly well known for our love of street art and for allegedly being home to the highly secretive street artist Banksy. Most of our students actually walk past the Banksy piece on their way into campus each day, which is really exciting. But if you're into culture, if you're into art, then there's always something new to be doing or to be looking at in Bristol. We're also often referred to as the festival city because we are home to so many festivals over the summer months, like the one that you can see on the screen now, which is the annual International Balloon Fiesta. During this festival, over 100 hot air balloons from all over the world come to Bristol and launch at one time, which makes for some really spectacular views across the city and an experience that is really quite unique to Bristol within the UK. I know views like this with hot air balloons in the distance is very much something people associate with Turkey, but it is also something you'll get to enjoy in Bristol. Another really exciting event or festival that takes place in Bristol each year is Upfest. Now, I really like this because it's the largest street art and graffiti festival in Europe. And what it does is it transforms the entire city really into an art gallery. And you can take walking tours around the city or just wander around and stumble upon new pieces of art everywhere really. So it's a great festival to enjoy in the summer, and again it's one that's really unique to Bristol. So if you're into your arts and culture, like I said, there's going to be lots of opportunity to enjoy that in Bristol. We're also proud to be a very multicultural community. Bristol is diverse and it is welcoming as a city. We're home to people from more than 187 countries that speak 91 different languages. And because of that diversity, we're also really lucky to have award-winning restaurants that serve delicious foods from all over the world, including vegetarian options, vegan options, halal options. And I would say it's a particularly good place to live if you are vegetarian or vegan and you're a little bit of a foodie, you like eating out, because there are lots of really great options for you. I've mentioned that Bristol is a small city. It's also quite a compact city, but what it also is very green. So we do have over 400 parks within the city boundaries. Walking and cycling are by far the most popular ways to get around the city. So you definitely won't need to be battling with public transport on a daily basis, and generally it's really easy to get around. What we also are is a city that is committed to protecting the environment, which I know is a very hot topic right now. We are a former European Green Capital and the UK's first cycling city, and we do have the ambition to become carbon neutral by 2030. Just to give you an idea of how sort of strong the movement is here in Bristol, Greta Thunberg actually visited Bristol just before the pandemic to join the children of Bristol in their climate strike. So we are a very environmentally conscious city too. And what you'll see is that really feeds into everything that we do here at the university as well. So if the sustainability is core to your beliefs and you want to study somewhere with like-minded people, then Bristol and the University of Bristol is a good option. Now, I am obviously a little bit biased when it comes to telling you how great of a city Bristol is, because I do live here and I love living here. So I have included some other sources that agree with me. As you can see, Bristol has been voted the best place to live outside of London, the coolest city, as well as the greenest city. And I think all of that combined really makes Bristol a great place for students and for student life. The city itself is actually home to 2 large universities, so the city very much revolves around students, and it makes being a student here very, very easy. But moving on to the university itself then, of course, we think the University of Bristol is a really great choice for you and for your studies, and I'm very pleased that you've joined us today to learn a little bit more about that. But to give you an idea of why we think it's such a good choice, I'm going to run you through some of the rankings that we are most proud of here at the University of Bristol. So we're particularly proud to be ranked top 10 in the UK by QS, as well as 62nd in the world, which, just for reference and to put that in context, that ranks us alongside other world-leading universities such as top Ivy League universities in the US, for example. Our academic strength is also demonstrated by 13 of our graduates going on to become Nobel Prize winners for everything from the analysis of consumption and poverty, all the way through to the genetic structure of viruses. Our research also ranks in at joint 5th in the UK, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that exactly means for students a little bit later on. And then finally, our graduates are highly employable. We do have really strong reputations with employers in the UK, Europe and beyond, which again, I'll go on to talk about in a little bit more detail shortly. But those are some of the highlights and some of the reasons we believe that we are a strong choice for you and your studies. The university itself does enjoy a very long history of excellence from our inception in 1876. One of our proudest accolades is that we were the first university in England to admit both women and men on an equal basis. And I think what that really speaks to is the very liberal and forward-thinking nature of the university and the broader city of Bristol. We are, of course, also a member of the prestigious Russell Group of universities, which again confirms that we conduct research that is cutting edge and world leading. So that's going on at the university, but what does that mean for students that are studying with us? And what it means is that the content that you'll be studying will very much be at the cutting edge of the field, because the academics that are teaching you are currently undergoing world-class research, which they will be feeding right back into their teaching. So you'll be learning from world-class experts and studying a curriculum that is informed by current world-class research. Our course offering at the University of Bristol is very broad. It covers a whole range of disciplines across our 6 faculties, which are the Faculty of Arts, Engineering, Health Science, Life Science, Science, and then last but certainly not least, Social Science and Law. Now, I won't be going into a huge amount of detail about all of those today, mainly because there are a lot of them. It's easier in a way to talk about the courses that we don't offer. So the main courses that we do not have at the University of Bristol that tend to be very popular are architecture. So that is not an option that we have. We don't have pharmacy and we don't have creative art subjects. But what I thought would be useful to run you through today is to highlight some of the courses that have traditionally been very popular amongst students applying from Turkey. So for undergraduate or bachelor's courses, our law course is by far the most popular for students applying from Turkey, which is no surprise given that we are a leading provider of legal education for over a century now. And our law school is based in Wills Memorial Building, which is pictured on the screen right now, which is very spectacular as a building. It's also where all of our graduation ceremonies take place, so everyone gets to enjoy it, and it makes for some really great graduation photos. That's followed by another course based within our Faculty of Social Science and Law, and that is our BSc in International Business and Management. That's another really popular one. And then across the board from Turkey, we get a huge amount of interest in our engineering courses and computer science, aerospace engineering lead the way very much so. That's followed by psychology, which is based within our Faculty of Life Sciences. And that's also where you'll find lots of medical related courses, so biomedical science, physiology, anatomy, anything related to medicine really is based within that faculty. At postgraduate level, what you'll see is there's a lot of interest in some of our very specialist courses. And at this study level, our courses are very much influenced by the research that we undergo at the university. So I've mentioned some of that already. But what we see is Turkish students enroll on some of our very niche courses. Every year we see students on nuclear science and engineering, robotics, volcanology, and advanced microelectronics, just to name a few. We do, of course, have PhD or research opportunities within all of our faculties and across all of our disciplines. Engineering and health science are particularly popular at that level, and we are very pleased to be welcoming a growing number of Turkish PhD students every year. Now, we do, of course, offer many, many more courses than the ones that I've listed here on that slide, but what I wanted to do was give you a little bit of a taste of what's traditionally been popular and a taste of what is available. But I would suggest that you take a look at our website to explore the full range of options. Or, of course, feel free to chat with me later on and we can discuss whether we've got any courses that match your interest or anything that might suit you. But we know that a huge part of choosing to study overseas is not only the course that you'll be studying, but it's also really about getting the opportunity to maximise your future employment options. And at Bristol, that's something we've worked really hard on, and we are very proud to be ranked 9th in the UK for employability, as well as 8th in Europe for our employer reputation. And we've achieved this by supporting students as soon as they join us, and our dedicated career service are available from day one. And we do recommend that students sign up and get involved as soon as possible. Don't leave it until the end of your course. Get involved as soon as you arrive in Bristol, because there are so many different ways that we can support you, whether that be advising on CVs, on job applications, all the way through to interview practice if you feel like that's something you need as well. What they're also really good at is if you're not exactly sure where you'd like to head with your career, or maybe you've got a couple of different options in mind, then they can help you explore your career options as well, also further study options if that's applicable. But throughout your studies, there will be plenty of opportunities to attend events hosted by top employers, both from the UK and overseas. So you can begin building your professional network while you're studying. Usually in a normal year without any COVID restrictions, we would have more than 300 employers visit us on campus each year. There is also support available if you are looking to work part-time to subsidise your studies, or if you're looking for internships during the holiday periods, there is support available to you from the Career Service if you're looking to do that as well. Now, many of our courses also offer the option to gain industry insight through lots of different schemes, but one of those is our professional mentoring scheme. And this scheme matches students with professionals working in their field who can support you in lots of different ways. They can arrange site visits, work experience, but they're very much there to support you with your professional development and to really get you ready for the world of work. There is also the opportunity to undergo up to year-long professional placements with one of our industry partners, or work on industry-based projects that give you exposure to real-world challenges and give you invaluable experience for when you graduate. So as part of your studies, you'll be working on real problems for real companies as well. But what's also, I think, really important to note is that lots of our newer courses have been designed in collaboration with industry to make sure that we're filling the skill gaps and to produce graduates that are very much industry ready. Engineering design and engineering mathematics are both examples of those courses that have been developed with industry needs in mind. What we also offer is a number of courses with the option to study innovation alongside your chosen subject. And I know that's not necessarily something that everyone's heard of. Innovation isn't necessarily the most popular subject right now, but what it does is combining innovation with, let's say, chemistry. It's going to equip you with the entrepreneurial and innovation skills to deliver new and innovative solutions to real world problems. So if you are a budding entrepreneur, or if you're interested in startup culture, then Bristol very much has the support available for you to nurture that ambition. Bristol is also home to the #1 business incubator in Europe, so we are quite a hub of business enterprise as well. So whatever course you choose to study, there will be the opportunity to engage with activity that enhances your graduate employment options, and there'll be the opportunity to help you explore the world of entrepreneurship and startup as well, if that's something that you're interested in. Now, onto scholarships then, which I'm sure lots of you will have questions about today. We do have a very generous scholarship scheme available at the University of Bristol, and that scholarship scheme is called Think Big. It is open to all international applicants, and this year we are investing £2 million into the scholarship scheme, so it's a significant scheme. The awards themselves are very generous. For master's courses, they are awarded as tuition fee deductions of £5,000, £10,000 or £20,000, and £5,000 and £10,000 for undergraduate applicants, and that discount is applied for every year of study. It's not a full scholarship, but it will cover a significant portion of your tuition fees. So if you are interested in applying to the University of Bristol, I would definitely encourage you to consider submitting an application for scholarship as well. Now, like I mentioned, all international students are eligible to apply as long as you've already applied for admission. So you've already applied for to study a course with us. Now, you can apply directly through our website, and the application is really straightforward. It's an online form where we'll ask you to answer 3 short essay questions with only 200 words each. And what we're really looking to find out about as part of the scholarship application is your achievements. So what have you achieved so far that you are most proud of? We're also interested in finding out about your contributions to community. So how can you be a good ambassador for the University of Bristol, and how have you been a good ambassador for your current community as well? And then finally, we're looking to hear about your future plans. So what are your career goals? What are your ambitions? And how does studying at the University of Bristol help you to achieve your goals? So in this application, we're interested to hear less about your academics and more about what you do outside of your studies. So it is not an academic merit-based scholarship. There's no particular score that you need to achieve to be eligible. Everyone is welcome to apply, and for this scholarship, we're looking for well-rounded students who have more than just academics to offer. Applications are actually already open. They opened earlier last week, but you will need to submit an application for admission before you can apply. The deadline for undergraduate applications and the first round of postgraduate applications will be the 28th of March. So for bachelor students, make sure you apply before then, because there will be no scholarships available after that date. But for those of you interested in postgraduate studies, then there is a second round of applications for you, and that will close on the 13th of June. So certainly worth applying for, as they are very generous scholarships, and we do see them awarded to Turkish students on an annual basis. So do make sure to think big when you're applying to Bristol. But how can you go about submitting that application that I've talked about in order to be eligible for Think Big? So applications to Bristol are submitted in a couple of different ways, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But first of all, I'll talk to you about the grades that you need to be achieving to get an offer for Bristol. For our bachelor's courses, we are looking for between 74 and 85% from your high school diploma. The exact score will depend on the course you choose. It will vary, and there may be specific subjects that we require, for example, maths for engineering, where we need a high level of maths. We can, of course, accept A levels. We're looking for between A, B, B and A star AA there. And then the IB is also, of course, acceptable, and American qualifications are totally acceptable as well. If you are studying those curriculums and you want a little bit more detail about what the entry requirements will be, do feel free to send me a quick email. All my contact details will be at the end of this presentation. For postgraduate courses, we are generally looking for a good bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA of 3.1 or above from a top university in Turkey. Again, if you want to confirm that your bachelor degree will be eligible, do get in contact with me. And then for all of our courses, we will need evidence of your English language ability. There are lots of ways that you can demonstrate that, but the level we are generally looking for is an IELTS 6.5 or above. Again, that will vary depending on the specific course that you're interested in. But if your undergraduate degree, for example, was 100% taught and assessed in English, then we can consider that as long as you include a letter in your application that evidences that. So if you have studied in English before, do make sure to let us know about that in the application. But the application process itself, like I said, varies depending on what study level you're interested in. But it's exciting for us that all of the applications are now open. And it's the application process that BEB, that are the hosts of today's events, they can really help you with that. We've worked with them for many, many years, and they've helped many students to study at the University of Bristol. So they're incredibly familiar with the application process, with our courses, as well as the visa process as well. So if this whole application process seems very daunting to you, please do get in contact with BEB and they will be able to support you in the whole journey. But for anyone interested in undergraduate studies, applications have to be submitted through a system called UCAS, which is how applications for almost all UK universities are submitted. There is a deadline for that, and that's January 26th. We may be able to accept applications after that deadline, but if you are looking to apply for very, very popular courses, so anything like law, business, engineering, do apply before that date, because it may well be that those courses close after that date. For anyone interested in postgraduate studies, applications are submitted directly via our website using, again, a very simple online form. Each of our courses does have a different application deadline, which does make it very confusing. So please do make sure to check the course pages on our website to find out when the exact deadline is for your course. But for most courses, that will tentatively be sometime in July. But having said that, in the same way as undergraduates, courses can close early. Particularly courses in anything related to engineering, really, so robotics, data science, anything related to engineering or science is incredibly popular and will close early. We did see courses close as early as January last year. So I would encourage you to think really soon about whether you'd like to apply for some of those courses and apply as soon as you can, ideally before the Christmas break, if not early 2022. And I also wanted to say, remember that you can apply before you have your degree results or your high school diploma, or your English qualifications, actually. So if you haven't quite met our entry requirements yet, but you will meet them later on in the year, you can apply before you complete them. So what we can make you is a conditional offer that will indicate what grades we need you to achieve. So we'll say, yes, absolutely, we're happy to accept you as long as you get an IELTS of 6.5, for example. So I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible to avoid disappointment for most of our courses, but for particularly anything related to engineering is particularly popular at the moment. So do try and apply as soon as possible to avoid disappointment. But that was all of the information I wanted to cover with you here today. But I do appreciate that that was a lot of information in a very short period of time. I do hope you found it useful and that it did help you to start thinking about studying at the University of Bristol. But if you do have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them now. Or otherwise, you are welcome to contact me with the email address on the screen right now, or the QR code will allow you to register your interest and get updates about the university as they become available. But as of right now, yeah, happy to answer any questions that anyone's thought of while I was speaking.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for the great presentation. I'm looking for the questions are coming over.
May I, if I can?
Yes, sure.
Hi, this is Ayla. So my son is having an IB diploma and will be graduated in 2023. It's a bit early, but just a question of the requirement of IB diploma grade needed for any engineering or computer science programs.
Yeah, that's a great question because it's good to start thinking early, particularly for IB students. So for our engineering courses and computer science, what we do need is a really strong background in maths, which does mean that we need students to be studying at least maths at higher level and one other science or maths subject. So that's the specific subject requirements. Overall, we'd be looking for around 38 points with a combination of 18 at a higher level. But yeah, make sure he's studying maths and one other science subject at a higher level.
Thanks a lot. And is there a specific requirement for the math high level grade apart from the IB grade?
Yeah, so we will be asking for usually a 7 or a 6 in maths at a higher level.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
I'm keep checking the Q&A part.
Hello, can I ask a question too?
Yeah, sure.
Hello, thanks so much for the webinar, by the way. That was really good and helpful. My question is, I'm a senior student in high school and I don't have an IB, unfortunately, but my grade is like over 90 out of 100. So is it a great thing for me to just even imagine about the school? Because without an IB, I feel like everything is harder. But I would love to try. I would like to try.
It's a good question. So yeah, it definitely, I think students often, you hear a lot about IB and A levels and you think that it's only those students that can easily attend UK universities, but that's certainly not the case. We can accept lots of different qualifications. So depending on what it is you're studying, we can accept the Turkish high school diploma if that's what you're studying. Usually we're looking for, depending on what course you're interested in, it's usually 74% or above. So based on your grades, it sounds like we could certainly consider an application for you, and that would be for direct entry as well. So that would be straight into year 1 of the bachelor's degree. You wouldn't need to do a foundation course. So yes, we can consider qualifications that aren't the IB, and lots of UK universities will as well. So don't be put off. We often mention the IB because it is so popular for international students, but it's by no means essential at all. So feel free to email me if you want to give me exact details of your school and your diploma, and I can take a look at it and give you advice in a little bit more detail, but certainly don't be put off. There's always a way.
Thank you so much. Can I ask another one?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
It's about the system in Turkey, but we don't actually separate every law part. I don't know how to say every law field, but you've got so many separated things like international law. You choose courses, especially in your website, and then they're separate like international law, business law, blah, blah. And I'm kind of confused about this. Can I just email you with my thoughts, and then could you please help me? Because I'm kind of confused which course to take.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to send me an email, because I appreciate that the UK system is very different from the Turkish system and also from the US system or the Australian system. But yeah, in the UK, you are required to make some pretty solid decisions about what discipline you want to study before you start. But I can certainly help you I can walk you through the different options we have available at Bristol to help you figure out which one is right for you. Yeah, so feel free to contact me about that as well.
Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
We have one more question similar to the entry requirement. My GPA is under 3.1, so do I still have a chance to get accepted for a postgraduate course?
Yeah, so it's a good question as well. And the short answer is Maybe. So some of our courses, like I mentioned, are very, very competitive and very oversubscribed. So for those courses, it's very unlikely that we'd be able to make you an offer if your GPA is below what we're looking for. However, if you're interested in something that maybe isn't so oversubscribed, we can exercise some flexibility there as well, particularly if you've got any relevant work experience. So work experience that demonstrates to us that you will be an excellent student on that course. In those cases, we can exercise a little bit of flexibility. If you do know what course you're interested in at Bristol, again, send me an email and I can tell you straight yes or no. It's difficult to do in this sort of setting because I don't have all the information available to me. But if you let me know which course you're interested in, I can say, yeah, give it a go, or no, it's not worth it. So yeah, do send me an email with details of your GPA and which course you're interested in. And I can certainly give you a more definitive answer on this. So it's a maybe. Unfortunately, I know that's not the answer you were looking for, but if you send me an email, I can give you a far better answer.
Olur. 8.30'a doğru. Dersi var.
Thank you. We can wait for a couple of minutes for the questions.
Okay, can I ask one more? This is gonna be my third, but
Yeah, sure.
okay, thank you. I was gonna ask about scholarships and helps financially for international students, because that's gonna be a problem for us, definitely.
Yeah, so what we have at Bristol is a scholarship scheme. We don't have financial aid in the same way as other countries or other universities will have. What we have are scholarship schemes. So our scholarship scheme for international students is called Think Big. For undergraduate students, that's discounts of between £5,000 and £10,000 per year. For postgraduates, it's up to £20,000 per year. So they're not full scholarships by any means, but depending on which course you're looking at, it can be up to a 50% scholarship. So most of our courses are somewhere between £19,000 and £25,000 per year. So that can be almost a 50% scholarship. The other thing you can do at the University of Bristol and at the UK universities as well is we don't have work schemes like other universities have, but what we do have is an international ambassador scheme where we employ students to work for the university, and they do a whole range of different things, from campus tours to helping out with events like this sometimes, to presenting to prospective students, that sort of stuff. There's lots of things they can help out with, and they are paid opportunities as well. So you are able to work part-time alongside your studies while you're in the UK. Your visa allows you usually somewhere between 10 and 20 hours of work per week during term time. That does extend outside of term time, but there's certainly the opportunity to earn some extra money while you're studying with us. But if you are concerned about finances, and I know that's difficult for everybody at the moment, do make sure to apply for our scholarship scheme, because that's the best way to get a discount on your fees.
Thanks so much. That's a great opportunity.
That's okay. It's no problem at all.
There is one more question. Is LNAT is required for law courses, and direct entry is possible without IB or equivalent?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our law course is one of the very few courses at the University of Bristol that does require an additional test. So yes, we do need the LNAT for our law course. I'll just take this opportunity to flag the other courses that have additional testing. So medicine and dentistry also require the UCAT as well, which is a clinical aptitude test. For law, the direct entry is possible as well without the IB. You just need to make sure that your school is on the approved list, and then we can accept the Turkish diploma. To check that, just send me details of your school and I can let you know whether or not it's possible. If direct entry isn't possible, we do have an international foundation year, which is based on campus at the University of Bristol. So you start as a University of Bristol student, you just do an extra year to bring you up to the standard and help you learn all of the skills you'll need to be a successful undergraduate student. But yes, IB is not essential for our undergraduate courses, and we do accept A-levels, IB, the Turkish diploma. We accept many qualifications. The IB certainly isn't essential.
Thank you very much. And there is one more. Do AP exams make a difference besides a good average from an approved high school, or not really necessary?
Yeah, that's a good question. The question of whether it's necessary or not would depend on what diploma you are doing. If you're doing the US high school diploma, then yes, we will need AP exams alongside that. If you are doing the Turkish diploma, you can meet our entry requirements with the Turkish diploma alone. So you would not require AP exams, but the situation in which it will be useful is it means that there's two ways you can meet the entry requirements, if that makes sense. So if, for example, you're applying for engineering, we require a high level of maths. What we see is students have already met the maths requirement with their AP calculus, for example. So it can help you to meet the entry requirements, but it wouldn't put you at an advantage as such. So if you're doing APs, great, list them on your application. And they will be included in your offer as an alternative offer, but it won't change the offer you receive. There'll just be more than one way of meeting our conditions. So I wouldn't say it's not an advantage in terms of the application, but it's an advantage in terms of meeting the entry criteria, but not essential.
Thank you. One more question about financial support. Do you have any help to cover fluctuation in Turkish money currency, lira?
It's a great question. So if you're concerned about finances, my first piece of advice would be to make sure you apply for the scholarship, first of all. So you're reducing your tuition fees as low as they can be. We do have hardship support available at the university. So if for any reason we have seen in the past currencies fluctuate to the point at which students are unable to afford their tuition fees, there are emergency funds available that you can apply for. So if something unexpected happens, those funds are available there, you can apply for them, and the university is able to distribute funds to students that are struggling because of situations outside of their control. But the first thing I would say is make sure you're applying for the scholarship, so you're reducing your financial burden as much as possible. And then if something unfortunately does happen, or the currency fluctuates to such an extent that it becomes unaffordable, reach out to the university, and there are structures in place to support you if that were to happen.
Thank you very much once again. I think we covered all the questions. Thank you so much for the webinar once again, and for the information. And we look forward to meeting you in Turkey soon.
Yes, fingers crossed it will be soon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And like I said, if there is any questions at all I can help with, please do contact BEB, because they've got a wealth of knowledge that they can help you with, or feel free to contact me directly, and I'd be more than happy to help. And thank you very much, Imran, for organising this for us today.
Thank you very much. Have a great day for you.
And you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Teşekkür ediyoruz. İyi akşamlar diliyoruz.